Have you ever wondered how the Roman civilization has shaped the world we live in today? Let's start our journey with the legendary foundation of Rome. Picture this, a city born from a tale as old as time itself, where Romulus and Remus, twin brothers raised by a she-wolf, lay the groundwork for what would become one of the greatest empires in history. This is the Rome of 753. Before the Common Era, a kingdom initially ruled by kings. These monarchs didn't just wear crowns, they were lawgivers, military leaders and high priests, laying down the early structure of a civilization that would endure for over a millennium. Yet, this was just the infancy of Rome. The Roman kingdom, with its kings and early structure, was just the beginning of Rome's epic tale. As the kingdom gave way to the Republic, Rome started to shape its unique political structure. The Roman Republic, established in 509 BCE, was a radical departure from monarchical rule. Instead, it was a system of representative government, where power was shared between elected officials. At the heart of this system was the Senate, a council of elders with legislative, judicial, and religious authority. The Senate, composed of former magistrates, was an embodiment of wisdom and experience. Alongside the Senate, various assemblies also played pivotal roles. The Centuriate Assembly, the Tribal Assembly, and the Plebeian Assembly each had unique responsibilities, ranging from electing officials, passing laws, to declaring war and peace. This system of checks and balances allowed for a more democratic form of governance, at least among the citizenry. But the Republic was not just about politics. It was an era of aggressive territorial expansion. Rome's military conquest spread its influence across the Mediterranean, incorporating diverse cultures and peoples. Each new territory brought wealth, slaves, and resources, bolstering Rome's economic might. One cannot discuss the Roman Republic without mentioning the Punic Wars. These were a series of 3 wars fought between Rome and the city-state of Carthage. The Punic Wars were a defining period in Rome's history, showcasing its military prowess and strategic brilliance. The wars ended with Rome's decisive victory, cementing its dominance in the western Mediterranean. However, this period of expansion and military success was not without challenges. The Republic was rife with social and political conflicts, often fueled by the widening gap between Rome's rich and poor. These conflicts began to strain the Republic's political structure, threatening its stability. The Republic was an era of expansion and conflict, setting the stage for Rome's transition to an empire. As we will see, the Republic's end was not a downfall, but a transformation, leading to the rise of one of the greatest empires in history. The Republic faced internal strife, and powerful generals rose to prominence. With the Republic's expansion came political and social unrest, and the stage was set for a power struggle. Julius Caesar, a military genius, emerged as a key player. His audacious crossing of the Rubicon River was a daring act of defiance against the Senate, signaling the start of civil war and marking the end of the Roman Republic. Caesar's dictatorship, however, was short-lived. His assassination in 44 BCE shook the very foundations of Rome, plunging it into another round of civil war. Out of this chaos, a new figure rose to power: Caesar's adopted son Octavian. A master strategist, Octavian battled Mark Antony and Cleopatra in a bid for supremacy, emerging victorious in the Battle of Actium. In 27 BCE, Octavian, now known as Augustus, became the first Roman emperor. With the rise of Augustus, Rome transitioned from a republic to an empire. The Pax Romana marked a golden age for the Roman Empire. These 2 centuries, from 27 BCE to 180 CE, were a period of relative peace, stability, and prosperity. This era, whose name translates to Roman peace, saw the empire reaching its zenith under the rule of emperors like Augustus, Trajan, and Hadrian. The Pax Romana was not just an era of peace and stability, but also a time of great progress and development. The empire was expanding, and the Romans used this period to invest in extensive infrastructure. They constructed roads, aqueducts, and monumental structures like the Colosseum and the Pantheon, feats of engineering that still inspire awe today. But the Pax Romana wasn't just about physical structures, it was also a time of great intellectual advancement. The Roman legal system, with its principles of jus civile and jus gentium, was established during this time. These laws set the foundation for many of the legal principles we adhere to today. From the concept of a legal representation to the idea of innocent until proven guilty. In essence, the Pax Romana was more than just a time of peace. It was an era of growth and prosperity, laying the foundation for Rome's enduring legacy. The advancements made during this period, whether in architecture, law, or culture, continued to influence our world in countless ways. The Pax Romana was an era of growth and prosperity, laying the foundation for Rome's enduring legacy. The Roman society was a complex structure with its classes and widespread slavery. Let's delve a little deeper into these aspects. Roman society was primarily divided into two classes: the patricians, who were the aristocracy, and the plebeians, the common people. The patricians were the wealthy landowners, politicians, and priests. They held a significant amount of power and influence in Roman society. On the other hand, the plebeians were the farmers, artisans, merchants, and laborers. They made up the majority of the Roman population. Over time, the plebeians were able to gain political power, and some even achieved the status of nobility. However, their lives were often marked by hardship and struggle. In addition to these classes, there was a third group that played a significant role in Roman society: the slaves. Slavery was widespread in Rome, with slaves performing various roles from household tasks to agricultural labor and even skilled work. Many slaves were prisoners of war or were born into slavery. It's important to note that while slavery was an integral part of Roman society, it was also a source of social tension and conflict. Despite its complexities, Roman society was a dynamic mix of cultures and peoples. This diversity, along with Rome's political and legal innovations, contributed to the richness and vibrancy of Roman civilization. Yet it also presented challenges in terms of social cohesion and stability. Rome was not just about politics and war. It was also a hub for religion and philosophy. The Romans worshipped a diverse pantheon of gods and goddesses, each presiding over various aspects of life, from love and war to agriculture and the home. Rituals, sacrifices, and grand festivals were integral to Roman religious practice, reinforcing societal bonds and the community's connection to the divine. On the philosophical front, Stoicism and Epicureanism were particularly influential. Stoicism, with its emphasis on virtue, duty, and acceptance of fate, resonated deeply with the Roman mindset. The Epicureans, on the other hand, pursued a good life through pleasure, friendship, and peace of mind, providing an alternative perspective on happiness and fulfillment. These religious and philosophical traditions coexisted, often overlapping, shaping the Roman worldview and guiding their actions in war, politics, and daily life. Religion and philosophy were integral parts of Roman life, influencing their worldview and actions. All great empires decline, and Rome was no exception. The mighty Roman Empire, which once spread across 3 continents, began to crumble under the weight of its own success. Economic challenges started to gnaw at its foundations. Inflation soared, tax issues became rampant, and an over-reliance on slave labor crippled productivity. But it wasn't just the economy. Political instability further destabilized Rome. A series of weak emperors, coupled with internal conflicts, led to a shaky administration. The once mighty Senate was a shadow of its former self, and the power vacuum was felt throughout the empire. The final blow, however, came from the outside. The barbarian invasions led by Germanic tribes and the Huns gradually chipped away at Rome's boundaries. The sack of Rome in 410 CE was a brutal wake-up call. Finally, in 476 CE, the Western Roman Empire fell. The fall of Rome marked the end of an era, but its legacy was far from over. Rome's influence didn't end with its fall. Its legacy continues to shape our world today. The legal and political systems we know are deeply rooted in Roman principle. The concept of a republic with its checks and balances continues to inspire democratic governance. Roman law, with its focus on justice and equality, serves as a foundation for many modern legal systems. Rome's impact on language and literature is profound. Latin, the language of Rome, evolved into the Romance languages we speak today, including Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. Roman literature, with masterpieces by Cicero, Virgil, and Ovid, continues to enlighten and entertain. The architectural and engineering marvels of Rome, from the magnificent Colosseum to the intricate network of aqueducts, set a high bar for urban planning and construction. Their influence is evident in our city's skylines, roads, and public buildings. Rome's enduring legacy echoes through history, reminding us of a civilization that once ruled the world.